Wow, someone's already here. You beat me to it. Um, yes, this is another last minute live. Um, I guess I can wait for a few more, but it's a short one tonight. I just have something important I'd like to share. It's actually a video. I'm going to attempt to share a video. And hopefully, my camera doesn't shut off and I can uh, discuss some of the things. It's not that long though, but I feel that it's very important for people to understand what's going to be going on in the next month, particularly the next month to the next 6 months. 3 people. Wow. Um, Perfect timing, hey? We're just going to do a quick video. Hello, Carrie from Australia. Welcome. This is a short one today. It's not going to be like the last one, which was 2.5 hours. It's kind of weird how this is going. It's just waiting for guests. Hello. Comments are strange. So I'm just going to try to see if they're not staying. So I want to make sure that that stays. But anyway, so this is going to be a short video. Who wants to chat in the chat box years ago? Wow. It's amazing how we're connecting now. So I'm become very active again, even more so. There's a lot of things going on. Hello from Southwestern Ontario, Natasha. So let's see here. So I will be, aside from my website, which I'm working on uploading the latest, the original PDFs of the Ringing Cedars of Russia. That should be up shortly. I'm almost done. It's taking me a while. And I'm also going to be joining with another website that I can't give the name yet because it hasn't been decided yet, but it's going to be very well done and professional. Thus, the videos are going to become much more professional as well, too. Thank you. I didn't usually I like to kind of do myself up for you guys and makeup and stuff like this, but it's about 11 at night here. And I felt I absolutely need to go live and share something with you guys. As things start to get even more cray-cray, as we start to take back our timeline that has been taken from us for a counterfeit one of a dystopian fear future, to this opportunity that's coming up to correct things, if you will, to jump ship. Because the third dimension is going to be no more. And the earth, I know you've heard a lot of things about there being two earth that is going to separate into, one of the third dimension and one of the fifth dimension as we transition through the third, through the fourth to the fifth. Is not the case. I'm getting that the earth is not going to leave any trace of her behind. She has signed up to ascend as well. And so it indeed is a really exciting time to be alive. Scary for a lot of people who aren't going to understand, particularly while we are going to be here to not only witness but partake in the death of an old world, which we're seeing with the cabal. It's dying and lashing out and throwing everything it can at us that it had planned to whatever, slow us down, intimidate us, or it's really pathetic actually, because we know that they're not going to win. So that's the facilitation of the death of the old world and then the birth of the new, where all these evil characters, cabal, will be removed, and then the meek shall inherit the earth. You guys all know how much I am not a fan of the Bible, but certain scripture I like, only a few, a select few. And that is one of them as well, because we didn't get corrupted by wealth and power. We can manage that and still keep our hearts and true and care for the collective of humanity intact. Um, and yeah, we can't be bought or coerced in any shape or form to do something that doesn't feel right in our hearts. Such as the big test that we've been enduring the last, we can say the last 3 years, but really it's been going on a lot longer than that. Many, many things that we've had to resist because it just didn't sit right within us. So that is the meekness inheriting the earth, the humble that will guide and show everybody. So I was thinking that, oh, wait, a friend of mine once told me that the original meaning of the word meek was resourceful. Yeah, I also feel humble as well and someone that can't be easily bought and or corrupted. In Hebrew, I think he said. I wouldn't be surprised because a lot of the origin of these words is you don't think it's important to detox if you had the jet. Sorry, the comments are going quite quickly now, so I have to read them right away. Otherwise, it disappears, and I don't know why that is this time. I don't know if the lives have changed in this way, but absolutely, it's important to detox if you did take the jab. I didn't. I never taken any one in my entire life. Thanks to my mom, she made sure of that when I was younger. And yeah, and there's a lot of great resources out there. My friends, strikethespike.com are fantastic. Um, and so many others. You can look it up now. It's available information about glutathiones, getting more of that into your body, and chelation, purging all the metals and nanobots, and oh, what else? The drawing a blank, spike proteins, and graphene oxide, and all that other awful stuff that we know is in there. Um, do what you can. If you need resources more, if you can't find information, let me know. Um, absolutely. So let's see. Back to what I was saying, which I don't remember now. Meek. Um, hmm. This is tricky now. How to do the lives? Maybe I put on a setting. What's the website called? Strikethespike.com. Uh, they're also doing some wonderful healings and treatments for people, kids, and adults suffering with autism from the jab and from other jabs that it comes from as well. Uh, da, 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 da. Train of thought. Where are ya? Of course, you're very welcome. Um, so anyway, we can't be corrupted. That's a form of the meek inheriting the earth. So that's what I was going to say. So I was thinking, I want you guys to spread this information as much as possible. You guys have all been on your own journeys as well. That has led you to the point to not just discover me, but discover your spiritual path, your truth, um, and what's really going on here. There's something worked really hard to make sure you were awake during this time throughout your life. All these synchronicities were events were really just the guides working behind the scenes and you negotiating with them on how would be best to work with yourself in this way. Um, Triggers and activations and so forth. That It's like winning the lottery in a lot of ways to be awake during this time is how I see it. But someone was saying, I don't really want to try to wake up people who aren't interested in waking up. And I got this vision of just people knowing intuitively, like how I shared before. People just knew when I was younger that I guess I was going to do something important in the future, or that I had a vibration that made them feel comfortable to opening up and just listening to whatever I was saying. Something in my voice, even if it wasn't anything profound, there was something beyond that they were connecting to. I think that that's going to be the case for all of you as well. I think that I'm getting that it's just going to be very easy. They're just going to, almost like you're going to wake up one day and there's going to be a lineup of people who know that you know what's going on. And oh, sorry, I've got to stop for a second. Tiny hug. Jessica, I really appreciate you and your desire to share the ringing cedars to those of us who. No, it went away. Oh, there they are. What a dork! I just had to touch it. I didn't know that. Ringing cedars to those of us who do not have the physical books. They are life changing. You're very welcome. I'm going to be sharing on my website the PDF, the original green books, because apparently some of my friends went to Banyan Books and these spiritual bookstores and found that they're selling them for over $1,000 an individual book. I can't believe it. So anyway, these books should be free. There's also been this debate that Vladimir and Paulina, his daughter, are not making the money that they need, but I believe they're making profit in several ways aside from the books, and that they are fine financially, that it's more so about getting this message out there to the world. Also, like a tree that gives fruit, flowers, leaves, shade, comfort, and beauty unconditionally, regardless of who you are, what you have, what you believe. And they never once say, you owe me for my services. I feel that these books are the same way. They want them, Anastasia wants them shared and out there to the world, to as many people as possible. It's not about payment to them. It's about awakening. And if you can't afford it, I don't think it's right to be withheld from it. There's a lot of free options, and the people that can pay or donate or buy products or whatever other way they want to support, they can. So yeah, I will be sharing on my website, since the people who had the original PDFs deleted that website, and it's now some sort of spam thing. Spam scam thing. That So now I will have it on my website. I'm almost done uploading all the books, and yeah, so I'll let you guys know shortly. Should be, maybe I can get it done tonight after this call. We'll see. Apparently bifidus goes from 1 million down to 0 after 1 month from the jab. I hope that's true. I think it really depends on the kind of jab you got. There are levels of, a graphene oxide. Some got placebo, some got one one dose, some got the second, and some got the third. People who get the third and the first one tend to not be very lucky, in which they end up getting and I know someone in particular that ended up in a wheelchair, wasn't able to walk, paralyzed from the waist down. I guess that also woke them up to realizing that, these are not good for you. But people that get 2 with level 3 graphene oxide end up having not making it, basically passing away. And then, all the ambulances we're hearing constantly, and accidents and things like that. But yeah, I know $1,000. It's crazy for just one Ringing Cedars book. It's not right. And I know that the North American Ringing Cedars group is also working to get a better copy, audio copy of the books, and also republishing them. So they're working with Vladimir Megri to get the publishing rights for North America, and I think to sell them at a more reasonable rate as well. So there's a lot of things in the works. And okay, so anyway, basically it's going to be like this. People are going to find out that you guys know what's going on, and they're just going to be drawn to you. It's not like we're going to have to fight to wake someone up who doesn't want to see it. They're just going to, this funny meme like, find your nearest conspiracy theorist to help explain to you, what's going on during these times. It's going to be like that. You're going to have just people coming to you that are going to need clarity during this time, and they will know that So we have all been prepared to be leaders. It's always been difficult for me to accept, because I've never fit in anywhere. And I know you guys have never fit in anywhere. And I know we're just mirroring each other. My comments went away. Okay, there we go. It's a certain way you touch the screen. So we're all leaders. We're meant to be leaders. We're meant to pave the way. We're meant to explain to them about the death of the old world and helping birthing the new world, and how we're going to go about it. What does the world look like when we remove all the darkness from it, and there's no more of that interference? what would you do? You don't have to worry about money anymore. We don't have to pay to live on this planet anymore. Um, we can address all the starvation with people, and just all the unjust. There's just in cleaning up the planet as well with our star family, um, and also the amazing inspirational ideas that so many people have that have just not been able to do it because they've been stopped for one reason or another. Okay, I'm going to read these comments quickly. Isn't that interesting to talk a bit about the awakening and say something about those that are not going to awaken? To not awaken must be their. Oh, go away. Sorry, not you. These, by the way, this format is now lives. To not awaken must be their journey. But how do you see that going down? Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people are NPCs and not meant to awaken this time. They want just to be here and experience this, and just because Earth is such a plethora of so many different experiences and a buffet. Um, but it's not their time to do the awakening, to do the transition. I don't think that they're going to like be left behind per se. I think that they will get their opportunity again, and they'll choose. I know that they're not going to come back to Earth. I know there's no longer incarnating options to three-dimension Earth now. That door is closed. That they'll probably go to another world to work on to that point when they're ready to. And a lot are just not going to, just because they've, you know, they've just, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess kind of show you what the world could look like if you don't um, evolve and awaken, right? Um, yeah, and some just want to be like a shield for us to kind of, I guess, be the test subjects of what happens when we comply and obey to this tyrannical government. They will fight and suffer. Worst of what are the consequences? I mean, it sucks that a lot of people have to learn the hard way, and losing loved ones, even their own life, right? I just think it's so unnecessary. It doesn't have to be, but the brainwashing is so strong for them. I mean, I just have a lot of empathy for them as well, because it's it's um it's not easy. It's not easy for them as well. There's a lot of fear of change, and taking responsibility for the decisions, the ramifications of our decisions, and how that affects everybody, and being able to accept that the, the leaders are really that evil and horrible. They don't have our best intention in mind. They never did. Like, whenever I have this discussion with people, I'm always like, but can you please just give me one example throughout history, just one where the leader actually cared about their people and didn't exploit them and screw them over? And unfortunately, there's none. Nobody should have to pay to live on a planet you were born on. Exactly. Um, so it's not so much consequences, though, to go back to what you were saying, Michael, that will they fight and suffer worse, or what are the consequences? Consequences are basically our own, um, again, the ramifications of our collective decisions, of all the suffering that's been brought about, right? They'll have to sooner or later take responsibility for that. If not in this life, then most likely in, well, in the transition process, they will be shown the effects to the world and to themselves of choosing to be um, unconscious purposely, to not see what's really going on, and the hurt that it's caused others, and they'll feel that tenfold, just like many people have shared in NDEs, near death experiences. What brings you to say that there is no more reincarnation back to Earth after this round? Um, Information that I'm getting from Star Family and and just because I work a lot on the other side, particularly in the dream time, and basically because we are definitely going through a shift and an ascension, and that They're saying that their third dimension's going to be no more already, basically there's just a shadow of it left as the Earth is transitioning fully as well, not leaving any part of her behind. That it's not possible to continue to experience the world as it's been in this particular world because it's coming to an end. It's changing into the next thing, basically. What can we do to help this planet right now? Oh, so much. We can meditate on all the healing that needs to be done on the planet, particularly for Maui, and all the strife and man-made disasters. We can meditate on remote viewing where all the DO weapons are, and also where HARP and other devices like HARP are located, and to deactivate them, like the hydrogen bomb. H-bomb has been deactivated with the help of our star family. So last time I was talking about the star family will help, but they don't want to do it all. They can't save us. It's like it's interfering with prime directive, and it's also they don't want us to look at them as our saviors or develop another savior complex or another type of religion. This is the last thing they want. They really just want us to step into our power, basically help ourselves and help them to help ourselves. Okay. So it's teamwork. It's not just one-sided. We are also capable of saving ourselves. We are the answer to our prayers. So there's so much we can do. Just keep visiting people. Like I stretch my oh my gosh, I just reminded of the last live I did where I attempted to do my first a meditation sharing with everybody. I've never did that before. So it was kind of funny because I'm the only one on camera and I'm like doing this with my hands, making an energy ball. But I was trying to teach you guys there with this rudimentary way of doing it publicly, and having to open my eyes, so break concentration because I don't know if the camera is going to shut off. You're making a blanket. I was making a blanket to comfort everybody who's suffering and afraid right now, to find more of my soul family incarnated here on Earth who are asking to what they should be doing or find other people who are like them. Just I love just connecting like that in the psychic dream realm and uniting us for and finding unique synchronicities, because it always is, on how we found each other. So there's so much, right? So um let's see, live joyfully and be an example to others. Absolutely, that too. Connecting with your inner child even more so, playing, seeing things for the first time with like joy and wonder and curiosity, um, willing to dig deep, soul archaeology, asking questions, seeing how far you can go, um, like a tree, basically deeper into the ground, connecting your roots to other soul trees. Whose roots are intertwined with yours, and then also reaching up more towards the surface, towards the light, and towards our strength, because hardwood grows in time, and also really giving the fruit and shade and comfort and beauty to the planet like a tree would do. I've thought that for years. It's a way justice should be done. People should know and understand the pain you've caused. If they understand on a deeper level, they wouldn't do it. Yeah, exactly. So in my Project Camelot interview, which I don't remember what year exactly it was done, but I do know it was on my birthday. I think it's 2008, but I'm not sure because I don't know if I posted it uh, accurately. I guess I could have posted things later on, so you guys will know better than me. What is this? Why won't these comments show up? This is being blocked for some reason. So anyway, I talk about that. I talk about how war. Let's see how quickly it continues on if I basically punch you in the arm and I feel it in my arm right away, right? This just oneness factor where there's just no more separation, that what I do to you, we instantly feel to ourselves right away. And so it's like that in the transition period. And you get shown all that and feel all that. And it's quite intense and it's quite a learning experience for a soul that's been, refusing to um, see the truth because it's hard and unpleasant and scary. You're forced to face all that and understand all that, and yeah, it's it's humbling. Um, I was gonna say deactivate how. So also in the Ringing Cedars, for those who have read the books, there is a chapter where there is a little girl who's deactivates these weapons, war like missiles and things like that, by having the bacteria eat uh, the metal until it completely disappears. And people who are guarding these weapons with security cameras find that they can't. The weapon just completely disappears before their eyes because of what the little girl does. So there's so many ways. That little girl's story is a representation of us and our connecting with our inner child and our infinite creativity, and our psychic faculty, um, that everything in creation and everything here on earth is willing to work with us. Even the bacteria who we've been turned against and made to believe is bad, and germs and all of that, we can do these things, but we just don't believe in ourselves enough. We've been convinced to believe that it's sci-fi fantasy and just movies, not reality, and it's just couldn't be further from the truth. We just have to really explore that within ourselves. Collectively, of course, it's way stronger, just like how it's been proven that a group of people meditating in the what is Detroit, who had a really high crime rate, ended up decreasing it quite a bit without anybody really knowing that these people were meditating. They're just influencing um, the crime rate there. And so something like that can be used for the do weapons, can be used for the harp weapons, can be used to psychically heal and comfort people who are feeling so afraid and lost and um, grieving and just all those things. That is what I feel from other people all the time, being an empath. And it's very, very exhausting, but I know that, I mean, I wouldn't ever tell someone when I meet another fellow empath that um, they tell me about the sadness, maybe, and depression and anger, and I'm like, it's not even yours, by the way. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, you're picking up other people's stuff as if it were yours, probably in the vicinity of your whole town. And I'm never going to tell you to bring your aura in, so you don't do that, because I believe that we are meant to take on all this stuff from other people, and because we can handle it and we can transmute it and we can tell the difference, whereas these other souls can't, unfortunately, yet. So that's part of our job, just like Mother Earth is constantly processing and absorbing all the pain, taking all the pain that we're experiencing, because the planet is a biological living being and we are herself. And so she's processing what we're going through. She's an empath as well, and she's transmuting it as best as she can too. Particularly all the things that are being done to her, we also take that on for the planet as well. And some choose to, take it physically to the point that it actually makes them overweight, and so many things. Is it possible, or are there electrical cables that can be electrically attached to people? Just curious. Oh, absolutely, yes. And psychic cords and all of that towards abusive relationships, or just narcissists, stuff like that, that are maybe a parental figure or whoever. That would make parenting my 4 young boys much easier if they instantly felt the pain that they caused their brothers. Yeah, I can imagine it must be a challenge with the 4 boys. I had 3 brothers, um, but, empathy would be and just feeling it instantly, yes, it but it would also, like it's tricky too because it makes this is something that I've talked about before about playing favoritism, not saying that you are, um, but just understanding how we tend to favor maybe our heart or our right brain over our left brain, which could maybe some of these boys might represent one part of us versus another, right? They're more similar to you, while others seem to be like the polar opposite, right? You're like, oh, maybe that comes from the other parent or a distant grandparent or something, but no, it's all about balance. Even in the family, they're trying to create a balance. Watching ourselves as we're just when we're favoritizing these parts of our brain or our heart over our mind, and knowing that this is all one body and I need to work with all of it in balance and not um because whenever you do favoritism with one, even just with a I use the example of a child, then it creates a lot of problems, as you know, right? Well, same with our brains, right? As soon as you favorite the right brain because it's creative and spiritual and lighthearted and wonder, then left brain's like, oh yeah, here's reality and logic and all those things that you have to ground your ass back to earth. So I like to use that metaphor, and that's what you reminded me of when you talked about parenting with 4 young boys. Um, but there's ways you can also just teach them empathy and trying to imagine putting themselves in the shoes of other people and what it must be like, or like making it as a game, or even what am I looking for? Uh, drawing a blank. It's late. It'll come back to me. I'm sorry. Do you believe in the new age again? I remember when you stopped believing in it before. Um, it's not so much about believing, it's about realizing that there is a lot of truth to it. Of course, I'm cautious. I've talked about this in my videos a lot that there are some things that we definitely need to be careful of that can be traps, like any sort of belief or mindset. For me, it's not so much about a belief, it's about a knowing, and it's about a reunion and reconnecting to that. So, talking about balance, yeah, I greatly disconnected from my spiritual self with the from the via previous relationships that really played a big part in that. Um, only to realize, come full circle and realize, okay, I've gone from one extreme to the other, and I know that this is what I'm here to do, and I know that this is the truth, and I know who I am. I know what I'm here to do, and I've taken a break from this for a while, but now it's basically back at it. And the reason I guess, allowed that experience or helped create that experience for myself is to be like a slingshot, pull yourself really far, far back so you can propel forward quickly. Meditation does lower crime rates. Yes, it does. Hello, I wanted to say hi and mention you were my first YouTube experience on Project Camelot, and amazing that I'm with you with what you're saying. Thank you. You're very welcome, and thank you as well. You can pray when you feel the collective pain and send love. Yes, but like I say too, prayer is good, but I don't think prayer is enough. To quote Jewel, there are plenty of people that pray for peace, but if praying were enough, it would have come to be. Let your words enslave no one, and the heavens will hush themselves to hear. Your voices ring clear with the sound of freedom. So, praying also, my qualms with that is that it's very similar to the word prey, uh, like predator and prey, and that it disempowers, makes us again ask for something to save us, not realizing that we are the answer to our prayers and we have everything we need to save ourselves. collectively to also realize that we're in a matrix, we're in a nightmare, and when you become lucid in a dream or a nightmare, you realize that this isn't real. This they have no power over me. This experience, this villain or whatever has no power over me, and you can change things instantaneously. Now you do that collectively. That's why I say through like meditation, um, and remote viewing and uniting our hearts, things like that. Then you really have an acceleration of productivity and healing. Cables like from government or secret societies to measure frequencies. I mean, what do you think 5G towers are? Um, I like that. Thank you. You're welcome. Maybe labels such as New Age conspiracy theory, flat Earth, witches, etc., are just trigger words to scare off those who are afraid. Well, when there are gatherings of truthers and freedom fighters, there's always the media there to try to I don't know if they put someone there who's a flat earther, or there is actual flat earther there. They use that to discredit us right away, and so, oh, they're just flat earthers and conspiracy theorists, so that's nothing to pay attention to. It's all just like, instant discreditation, which isn't a word, but I just made it up. Anyway, conspiracy theory, just so you know, is a term coined by the CIA to discredit whistleblowers. Um, Flat Earth, I've shared before, just doesn't interest me. It's not really important to me. I feel there's more important things to focus on than that. Maybe it's flat, maybe it's not, maybe it's like whatever on a sea turtle's back. To quote like Terry Pratchett, it's a hologram and it's whatever the collective sees it at the time. Um, which is, yeah, that immediately turn off Christians or pagan as well, which is, oh, is to connect with nature most of the time. Pagan is to according to putting together this puzzle, and um, some people who are religious are saying, and we're only working with the blue pieces because that's what has Jesus and the Bible references, and then maybe scientists are maybe working with the only the uh, green pieces because that's what is along their scientific perimeters, and then the mystics say, well, we're only going to work with the purple pieces because that's what we feel, represents only the mystical things. And really, like, they're actually all the same things, but in different packages and casted characters and words and stuff like that. But we're still like not able to see the bigger picture because we're only working within the colors that we are comfortable with, that we believe is and been taught to believe is the truth, and don't look outside of it. So I like to work with all of it to try to put it together as best as possible. But I see that this is still what a lot of people do, and it's very discouraging. Or like New Age as well could be considered purple as well. So yeah. A different question. Do you have anything to say on mudras for meditation or whenever you apply them, if you do? Mudras, this is familiar, but I don't believe I know what this is. Can you refresh my memory? No, like they attach these cords to your body to measure your frequency. Have you heard of that before? I know that they do experiments like that with MK Ultra. If you're talking about physical chords, they also do work a lot psychic chords, um, and subliminal messages and things like that. Kale, you always retract messages, even on my Facebook, and there you go again, two in a row. Mudras are hand postures. Ah, yes, that's right. I remember. Um, I think, in my last live video, which is 2.5 hours, which I don't know. I wasn't intending for this video to be as long already as it is, and it's surprising how quickly time flies. Um, but I believe I was doing mudras in the meditation visualization at the end. Visualization is a big part of meditation. You have to learn to see and visualize certain things. I think a lot of people are not so good at it, but you can practice and train yourself at it, just like you can learn how to psychic lucid dream. But visualization is a big key towards having the desired result and just making it more effective. The more visually clear you can make it, the more powerful it will be. Example for astral travel. Um, just visualizing, if you're laying in your bed with your eyes closed and you're visualizing and imagining a hook on your head and your spirit growing so big that it fills the whole room, and then really really tiny that it's sitting on your chest, and then big and then small and big and then small, so you get kind of used to that stretchiness, and then visualizing your leg falling through the bed, and then your arm, and then your head, and then your other leg, and then your arm, and then you can visualize yourself on the ceiling looking down at your body, really really clear, all the detail as best you can. And then the next thing you're to do is to visualize a room in your house, say like the kitchen, I like to use, and visualize all the detail as best you can, and then imagine yourself there, and then you're there. It's the same thing with connecting with your guides, really. How I did it was I just started writing to them as if I were them. So it's almost like, okay, I'm going through something right now. I've got a lot of questions. I'm just going to try to comfort myself with all of this. And so it's me. Um, and then the more you keep asking questions and digging and going in that direction and trying to comfort yourself, then it's amazing, because it's almost like a door opens up, and then these other facets of yourself start answering. And I do fully believe fully that our higher self is our fifth dimension self that is already there and is creating bridges to us here that's still stuck in the 3D, and needing that, knowing that we're part of something bigger. We can feel it. We can feel the oneness at times, but then we fall back into our sleepy state of uh, the daily grind and thoughts and so forth that uh, goes with being in the third dimension. So much distractions as well. Um, yeah. So it kind of reminds me of how people say they only want to focus on good feelings, but the ones that are difficult, you can learn a lot from. Also, I feel that this is the thing when I'm within the spiritual community, it's all about when I, particularly when I was sharing about the fires a lot of my wall, and everyone's like, oh, you're being so negative and focusing on the fear and all of that. You need to focus on the solution and love. And I'm like, well, there are still a lot of people that don't know what's happened of the truth of this, the ugly side. And I believe that it is our duty, since the media is in sharing the truth, it's ours to try to be louder and stronger than the media and reach as many people as possible, to get this into the mainstream, right? To get people questioning the mainstream narrative. So, and we have to unfortunately focus on the problem and get people to realize the problem, to want to do something about it, because we can't do it individually. We have to do it collectively. So we still have to wake up a lot of people, and then once we finally get rid of these dark ones, then we can focus on the solution and positive. But also because not just that, it's not about being negative, it's about warning and preparing people. There's nothing negative about letting someone know